Hi, my name is Lisa Cannada, and I'm an orthopedic trauma surgeon at Novant Health and associated with the UNC Charlotte School of Medicine campus. Today, I'm going to answer your questions about research. The first question I have to answer is, how much research should I be doing as a medical student interested in applying to orthopedics? Well, we all know a few years back that when Step 1 changed to pass-fail, research was thought to be much more important. Research appears to be more emphasized in the application process, but let's look at what research is. It's an opportunity to gain exposure to a field and distinguish oneself. When we know many applicants have multiple experiences and abstracts and presentations who match. There was a recent study by Harrington who looked at actually what happens to the actual research. They looked at a variety of activities of residents who are currently PGY3s. So that was from the 2020 match year. There were 688 residents. There were 2,600 publications from this group for an average of 3.8 per resident. Those from the top 25 medical schools had more research with a higher scores and H indices than those from non-top 25 medical schools. However, the important thing that I want to go through, one of the findings was 150 of those 688 applicants or current residents that matched successfully had no publications, and there was 10 with more than 30 publications. So there was a very small percentage of prolific publications. The majority, almost 20% had no publications. So what we're finding is that many of the research experiences listed are abstracts and presentations, but not everything goes on to publications. So that's something to keep in mind. There are many of you that might go to a medical school without an orthopedic residency program, and you wonder how you can get involved in research. That might be a little more difficult. For those of you that are at orphan medical schools, that is medical schools without a home orthopedic residency, and you want to get involved in research, talk to those that matched into orthopedics from the past 5 years from your school. Obviously, they'll all want to talk about their experiences, and they'll be able to steer you in the direction of faculty who are good in providing research projects for students at these schools. In addition, your research doesn't have to be in orthopedics if you don't have an orthopedic residency at your program. Look to the general surgeons or vascular surgeons, as there's a lot of information that you can gain from doing research and a lot of skills that you can gain from doing research and completing projects in those areas. So that's something if you belong and go to medical school without an orthopedic residency. The next question that I often get asked is, when is the ideal time to do research? Well, the ideal time is between your first and second year. Many times that summer can be spent, and that's your last free summer to completing a research project. So if you think about it, you're starting medical school in June, July, August, you're starting in the summer months. By October, you want to start lining up that project for the summer. You want to find out which projects are available and make sure you have something firmed up by the first quarter of the M1 year, by the end of the first quarter of your M1 year. It's going to be hard to find projects if you have to write IRBs and if you have to do grants that require a lot of groundwork if you wait until May or June of your M1 year. The next question that comes up is how to find a good research mentor. When one is looking for a good research mentor, it's important to look at their track record. Do they have publications? Do all the people that do research for them, do they get published? That's important. It's also important to make sure when you're looking for a project that you're interested in the topic and want to do research in that topic. It's going to not be fun for you or for them or a fruitful experience if you don't want to do research in that area. Another thing to think about is it possible to finish the project? Look at the project, and learn what your role is. Define your role in the research project before things start. What are you going to do? Are you going, if it's a clinical project, do you need to write the IRB? Do you need to collect the data? Who is going to run the statistics? What about presentations and publications? Learn your role before you start. And with basic science research, it's important to find out what your role is and make sure that you are doing skills that you are capable of, because many times in the lab, it could be different than just looking up patient charts and collecting data. Another question that comes up is, should I take a research year? Well, even as you're listening to this, there's going to be research projects coming out on that. Many times, people take research years after their third year. There are studies that show that the match rate of those that did a research year was 72%. And we know that's better than the 63% for the past 2 years of the match, and then 51% this current year. So it's important to make sure, if you are doing a research year, the program directors felt like a productive research year involved at least 5 publications. So make sure, if you are doing a research year, that you're capable of that you're finding a mentor that will help you with that number of projects, that you are a good writer and researcher to be able to reach that goal. And the most important thing is, make sure if you're doing the research year, it's not because you wouldn't have matched after you get your scores back or get an idea of where you're going to, of what your step 2 score will be. Make sure that you were a candidate to match into orthopedics before you do that research year. And finally, one last reason why people do research years is they decide late in their third year that they wanted to do orthopedics and they want to learn more about the field and gain more experience, and also do research in the field to help strengthen their application, because perhaps earlier they didn't have projects or activities that involved orthopedics. Good luck.